you so much. This is the old-fashioned party. Y'all can be just as loose as you want to be. Stomp your feet, clap your hands, and scream and yell like you're doing. Come on, baby. Because we're getting ready to take off in here in a minute. Just pretend like you're in a big old spaceship. Because we are going into orbit. Hey, yeah, oh.
That's just where they sent the music charts with their hit-studded triple platinum album, Breakout, that included 4 top 10 singles. Plus, their album, Contact, has already gone gold. Although these ladies are veterans in the business, they are only now reaping the financial rewards of their success, which was something they didn't cash in on a decade ago, despite the luxuries of press and limos. What?
Yes. Come to me, my darlings. No. They're bad, ain't they?
This is how it should be done.
Yo, what's going on, everybody? Yo, man, when people look back at the 1980s, a lot of them ask the same freaking question, dog. Why did female R&B groups seem to disappear right before the 1990s? And the honest answer is, it wasn't because women wasn't talented, dog. It was because the music industry changed, okay? And recording labels changed with it. By the mid to late 80s, female groups like freaking the Pointer Sisters, Climax, Vanity 6 were among like the last freaking like major wave of female R&B groups, bruh. And some of them had big hits. Some was like, you know what I'm saying, like image driven, okay? And some struggled with longevity, dog. But instead of seeing this as a normal, like the industry basically saw this as just like a way of getting out. and they felt as if they was risking on a bad investment when it pertains to, like, you know what I'm saying, these R&B groups, you feel. Then also too, at the same time, something else was happening, okay? Solo artists were starting to like freaking get popular, dog, all right? You talking about singers like goddamn Whitney Houston, okay? Sade, all right? Anita Baker, Janet Jackson, all right? These solo acts were selling millions and millions and millions of copies of records, dog, okay? They was killing the game. You guys already know that. Like, I don't even have to even say much about that, okay? And then honestly too, the record label felt as if it was easier to maintain just one artist. Why? Because think about it. You only got to worry about one brand, okay? It's easier to package one artist, okay? And then, you know, I hate to say it, but you know, who runs record labels? Mainly predominantly men, all right? And most of these guys, they was kind of feeling like, you know what? It's much easier to control one lady than have to figure out and control a whole group of women, okay? Because you always have, you know, the jealousy, in-house fighting, you know what I'm saying? You always gotta, you feel me, go about that aspect of running a female group. So then, you know what I'm saying? It was much easier for them to just worry about one freaking artist. And then also too, on top of that, you know, leading up into the late 1980s, you feel me? Something else was cooking up and brewing, and that was hip hop. All right? Freaking LL Cool J.
At 17 years of age, there's got to be a change of life for you. Has your life changed?
Yeah, it definitely changed a little. You know, pants size bigger, my pockets are fatter. I'm cooling.
Yeah. You like it?
I love it.
When you were a little bitty kid, your grandfather gave you stuff to start you off in business. What were you going to do before you became a musician?
I wanted to play football.
But, you ever sorry you gave it up?
No. I'm on bandstand.
Yeah! Thank you, sir. LL, it's nice to have you. Thank you, sir.
Eric B. Rakim, you know what I'm saying? The Beastie Boys. You got male groups, you got solo rappers, all right? Hip hop was flourishing. Hip hop was starting to really, really shape and become something. So now, like I previously stated, like some of those well-polished, kind of disco, funk, popish type of R&B female led groups, they kind of fizzled out. They didn't adapt with what was going on, you know, the new trend. Also, two record labels, they started to go with the new trend. And again, that's hip hop. Also, too, that New Jack Swing was developing late 80s, early 90s. So you have all of those different factors. And then now record sales started to kind of, you know, go down. All right. Because again, the new trend is hip hop. All right. Everything was going strong at that time. So right before the 1990s, there wasn't really like a strong, you can say, female R&B group. You know what I'm saying? Record labels, they were scared, dog. They were scared to freaking, you know, invest their money into that yet again. Okay? Because like the Vanity Six, they only had like one freaking album. You know what I'm saying? They had like one album, and I think they came back and reformed into like a different group. I can't think of the name. The Pointer Sisters, they've been doing shit since the 70s and the 80s. But again, they didn't adapt. They fizzled out. But again, they've been in the game for a long ass time. You know what I'm saying? And you guys can tell me like other, you know, old school R&B groups from the 80s, maybe even 70s, that again, leading up to the 90s, it wasn't it. And then also too, it was a shift going on also in the 1990s. Say gangster rap on top of that as well too. So all of those factors led into record labels saying, nah, we ain't messing with y'all, you know what I'm saying, old school type of R&B groups, you feel me? But something changed in the year 1990.
The first time I heard this, because I don't have a stereo system, I always say this, I'm driving in my car and I'm listening to the radio and I hear these beautiful voices melding together and I said, church time! It was so gorgeous. And then you got into the music and I was like, this is going to be a hot group. So before we go to the video, can we get just a little bit of a sample of your voices blending beautifully without music? Can you do that? Okay. Go ahead, go it, do it.
He was a sexy lover boy from out Chicago way. He had a hip-hop style no one could take away. He was the top man of his craft. But then his number came up and he was gone with the draft. He's in the army now, a rapping revelry. He's the boogie-woogie hip-hop boy of Company B.
You are too much. And with that, what other introduction do we need? How about some En Vogue? Hold on, right here.
Now, what changed? Yo, I don't have to say it. You guys already know it. Okay, freaking En Vogue. All right, yo, when these ladies stepped into the scene in the year 1990, okay, they basically kicked the door down for female-led R&B groups. All right, it was insane. You have 4 women. They all look good and they all can sing. Okay, it sounded like their voices were sung from heaven, from God himself. Okay, these ladies can sing, dog. I mean, it was masterful because on top of that, it was like they was promoting their voices first. So not only they could sing, it sounded like they was like in the church choir. All right, they look good on top of that too. They wasn't like, I want to say, how can I put it? Like, they wasn't a gimmick, you know what I'm saying? Like, they dressed grown and sexy and mature with, you know, with associated with the times, you feel me? In the 1990s, you know what I'm saying? And they had their debut album, Born to Sing, okay? And man, look here, that album did freaking numbers, bruh, all right? They lead single, Hold On.
Hold on to your love. You've got to hold on. Hold on to your love, baby. Hold on to your love. You got to hold on to your love. The art of playing games now. It's not the heart you break.
That song, Hold On, yo, that song peaked on the freaking Billboard's Hot 200 at number 21. All right, it was number 3 on the Billboard's R&B charts for like I think like I read like 9 to like freaking like 12 weeks, dog. Like it was freaking crazy. It was number 1 in Europe. Like yo, this song did buku of numbers, man. Okay, it was phenomenal. Like this song put them on the map, and it was just beautiful to see them, you know what I'm saying, show up, sing. I mean, like, it was just gorgeous, dog. Gorgeous. But yeah, that was like their lead single off of this album, you feel me? Now, they also had a second and a third single that came out also as well too. They had Lies and You Don't Have to Worry. All right, those also #1 on the Billboard charts. Okay, now I don't want to say I didn't care too much for those songs, but those are like I think those songs are okay. But when they released that 4th single, Don't Go, that reached #9. That song I love. Now again, like, yo, like this album, freaking Born to Sing, bro, like what else can you say about this album? You know what I'm saying? It won at the Soul Train Awards. It won at the Billboard Awards. Like, again, this album single-handedly showcased to the industry that it is good to invest in female-led R&B groups yet again. All right, because again, they fit the mold, man. And then also too, they incorporated that New Jack swing as well too. They blended in with hip hop. So then also at the time too, BET with Video Soul was a big thing. All right, of course, Yo MTV Raps was freaking huge. All right, and En Vogue showcased to the world, to the masses, and to the youth that it was cool. You know what I'm saying, for females, you know what I'm saying, to do R&B because they mixed in well with hip hop, what's going on. Because again, Yo MTV Raps and Video Soul, they needed to keep playing stuff in a rotation. You know what I'm saying? Because you see, like I said, the Billboard charts, the ratings, everything skyrocketed, man. Whatever En Vogue was doing, everything skyrocketed. So, yo, their music was in heavy rotation when it comes to, you feel me, these video programming blocks. You know what I'm saying? And again, record labels saw that and they saw cha-ching. Also too, man, like they also showcased that you could get along. Again, most groups always disband after maybe like an album or two, but En Vogue, at least in 1990 and 1991, they were sticking strong. They was doing their thing. And also too, like I said, it's easy for them to be marketable, man. Again, they were freaking vocalist led first, and then came, you know what I'm saying, the matureness, how well they look. They blended it well with, you know what I'm saying, hip hop, pop. They crossed over mainstream with like I said, they hit records, all these singles. They signed the freaking, I think a Diet Coke endorsement deal with Diet Coke, and Spike Lee directed the commercial.
I'm good to me. Treat myself right. The Diet Coke. Diet Coke. With the real cola taste. Calories I can enjoy and feel good about me. Treat yourself right. Diet Coke.
So again, En Vogue was freaking everywhere. You know what I'm saying? They was freaking everywhere, all right? But honestly, like, yo, like, I would say my favorite song off their Born to Sing album, hands down, gotta go to freaking Waiting on You. Bruh. Freaking the bass line, the beat, the melody, the saxophone playing in the background, even the intro when the song opened up and she called her homegirl or whatever. Homegirl's like, man, girl, I don't know what you doing waiting on him. That I wouldn't do that if it wasn't me. But then I guess her man called her. She's like, oh, that's Michael, I gotta leave. And dog, that beat coming, and they started singing their asses off. Dog, I love that song, bruh. That song is just freaking chef's kiss, dog. Chef's kiss, okay? But again, you know what I'm saying? En Vogue, they showed record labels that, yo, it's okay to invest again in freaking, you know what I'm saying, female-led groups. Now, also, too, you had the group Jade. I think they signed back in 91, but they released their album in 92, which we're going to get into some of that in future videos. But I think another group, other groups, see, record labels was like quietly, you know, looking for, you know what I'm saying, female acts, holding auditions. Cause I think as SWV, they formed in like 92. You guys can help me out on that. I think the other group called For Real, I think they signed in 91, but they didn't release their album back in like 94. But like a lot of other groups, you know what I'm saying, they record labels was looking and searching, dog, because again, En Vogue, 1990 and 1991, they kicked the dough down, and they really did help usher in basically the big boom of R&B led female groups from, you could kind of say 1992 to like, I'll say like 04, not 04, from 92 to 94, or you can say from 92 to 95 was like that really big boom female led R&B groups. It was crazy. So like basically like about time 1992 came around, in 93, the foundation was like already laid out, you know what I'm saying, for every single body. Cause again, En Vogue did their thing. They, I mean, what they did was freaking massive, bro. Like it really was, dog. And again, record labels was now feeling more comfortable to invest and to look into R&B groups. But again, that was 1991. You know what I'm saying? What I want to also do in this video, I want to showcase to you guys some R&B groups that don't get much shine, that don't get much light shined on them. You feel me? Because again, we talking about the 1990s, all right? It was a whole bunch of competition when it comes to these female R&B groups, all right? And there was a lot of groups that freaking went underneath the radar. Maybe they only had like one freaking album and that was it. They got disbanded and you don't hear nothing from them, okay? But over here, you know, we like to talk about a lot of things, dog. So again, let's get right into it. I want to showcase to you guys some R&B groups that has been forgotten about, and you guys should check out if you guys haven't heard any of that music. Let's get right into it. All right, everybody. So there's this one group, all right, that that came out in 1991, and this group is called the Escofferys. Now, I hope I'm saying their name right. I really do. But this group here, now this group, they mainly do gospel, okay? But again, they get their feet wet into R&B. Now, their father, his name was George Escoffery, and he actually was a gospel singer as well, too. He had a group called, I think, the Golden Chorus back in the day. So you already know what time it is. When this is like 1980s, 70s, or whatever. You know, you got your dad freaking, he got all these daughters, and he got them all in the church. They singing, all of them have beautiful voices, so you already know he on top of their ass, all right? And he made stars out of them, you feel me? Because again, they had this album that was released in 1991 called Opinions. Now this album is pretty solid, okay? Also too, you probably thinking like, damn, okay, if they from like the UK, like how the hell did they, you know what I'm saying, they get over here? Now, their manager was a family friend, you feel me? And then he had ties to Atlantic Records. And Atlantic Records also gave this group full creative control, you know what I'm saying? So that's why if you listen to this album, Opinions, you will hear gospel tracks. You will hear some aspects of the whole New Jack Swing that was going on in the early 90s, you feel me? Like, you get a taste of every single thing on this album. Now, their lead single that everybody probably knows from this group is called Look Who's Loving Me. Now that song, it charted, you feel me? And also too, a cool little thing about that song is that, like I said, this group is from the UK. So they filmed that video, you know what I'm saying, overseas, and they had a British director to direct the video because they wanted to showcase the talent that was going on over there in the UK. You feel me? Which I also think is pretty cool. They second single, which it didn't chart, which, you know, it's kind of sucks, but again, I still think this was a really solid track. I actually like this song more than the Who's Loving Me song or whatever, but this song was called Unattainable. Another song on this album that I really, really like is called Taking Life Easy. But overall, this is a solid album. Like, you got another song on there called I Can't Wait. You had another song in there called Soul Searching. So like overall, I feel as if this album was pretty solid. Now again, they only released this one album. And I know one of the sisters, she left the group and she formed another group called, I think, Truths, which we're probably gonna touch on in future videos. But if you guys haven't heard this album, you know, give it a try, check it out. I think it's a solid album. This next group that I'm about to get into, you feel me? Yo, I love this album. I love this group. It sucks they only had one freaking album as well, all right? And honestly, I'm mad that this album didn't do numbers, because what they was putting out was A freaking plus. This album here is no freaking skips, if I'm being honest with you guys. And I am talking about Seduce, okay? And they released their album in 1996, and it was also called Seduce. Okay, now I think they were signed to East West Records or whatever like that. Now they dropped this album back in like late March of 96. Okay, now I kind of went back and I looked, because again, I'm really pissed off that this album did not do so freaking well. Like, I'm mad like their career didn't continue after this album, you feel me? So I had to look back. I'm like, all right. So in that same freaking month, right? In that same month, your boy R.I.P. D'Angelo, he had his album that released, okay? I think it was called Brown Sugar. That album goddamn released, all right? And then you also have freaking the Waiting Until Exhale soundtrack. Now, even though that album came out in 1995, back in late November. Remember, this is the 90s, bruh. Like, music take a long time to come out. Remember how it was when like singles would freaking play for months on end on the radio? Videos would be shown for months on end, damn near a whole freaking year. So of course, Waiting to Exhale was going crazy still. So I guess maybe that was kind of messing up some of their airways. Again, the D'Angelo album, also to your boy Return of the Mac once again, his album dropped in that same month. So also too, different genre, Master P with his Ice Cream Man album dropped also too in that month. So it was a lot of competition that they had to face back in 96 in March. So I'm blaming some of those factors, dog. I really am. But again, this album, again, no freaking skips. Now, they had a single. They actually had two singles off this album, but the first single, which they probably most known for, is called Don't Waste My Time. That song goes so hard. I love the freaking video, how they come outside or whatever, and don't waste my time, baby. And they all dancing, you know, Buddy on the street or whatever. He talking to the other girl, but he's like, hey man, like, you know, he looking around. They all dancing, they looking like, what the heck? And they all walk, you know, that 90s stuff. You walk in slow motion to your car to get in their Jeep or whatever. They want that Tommy Hilfiger clothes. They got the Timbs on, the Scullies. Bruh, I love it. I freaking love it. That single actually charted. You feel me? I think it was on like number 42 on the Billboards. You feel me? Now, that song is goated. Okay, they second single, which I'm not gonna lie, I think I love more than that song, and that was called Body Knocking.
Baby, it's on. I know that you want me, baby. I can see it. I can feel it. Into body knocking. We can do it. We can do it.
Bruh. That song right there. Hard. I know that you love me, baby. I can feel it. Dog, I love that song. I love that song, bruh. I freaking love that song. And also too, they got another song on that album. Okay, it's called Don't Take Your Love Away. Bruh, smooth record. Even the outro song, I think it's called Does She. That song hard too, bruh. Dog, I'm telling you guys right now, bruh. This group, Seduce, I feel as if they should have really took off. I'm being hella biased right now. Maybe they wasn't promoted correctly. Again, maybe they had too much competition. I don't know. But if you guys haven't heard that R&B album, bruh, please give it a listen, dog. That album is straight goated, 10 out of 10. I'm just keeping it a buck with you guys, for real. Now, the next R&B group we about to get into, which I'm pretty sure, I don't know. Would you call this group underrated? Maybe not a lot of people really talk about it. Because again, when you think of 90s R&B female-led groups, who comes up? En Vogue, TLC, SWV, okay, those, Xscape. Those is like, you could say like the big four that majority of everybody brings up, remembers the most. And then you have, other groups. Now, this group here that I'm gonna talk about just briefly, we gotta go with Nothin Nyce. All right. Now, you already know they from Sacramento, California, and I ain't gonna lie, you could tell that they is from the West Coast, dog. I love that album. Okay, that album was released back in 1993, and it was called Down for Whatever. Okay. And honestly, when I pressed play on that album, it had me laughing because the intro is literally called Jacking for Men. And they literally kidnap a guy. I think they like roped them up, duct taped them, they threw him in the back or whatever, and they kidnapped the guy. So that alone already told me what I'm in for. You feel me? When it comes to this album, I'm just keeping a buck. I thought it was just funny, dog. But yo, they beats straight booming. Okay, now they had a couple singles. All right, obviously what they're most known for is In My Nature. I believe that was also off of a soundtrack called, I want to say Ghost Machine. You know what I'm saying? I could be wrong. But then they also have the self-titled single Down for Whatever as well, too. I know that was on a soundtrack called A Low Down Dirty Shame. I don't fucking know. You guys will let me know on that. but those two singles were on soundtracks. You feel me? And then they had the other single, Froggy Style. You know what I'm saying? Again, like looking back, like you could say that was like the Little Kim of like R&B, because how raunchy. You know what I'm saying? Their lyrics were, how like in your face they were, you know what I'm saying? But I loved it, man. I like how they did, their remake of the whole Nasty Girl song from Vanity 6. I love that. I thought that was a pretty cool track. You feel me? I know they had another song with High Five or whatever. I know they toured with them as well too. But like Nothin Nyce, like I said, like I really don't want to say like, oh, they're you know what I'm saying, like they're underrated. Maybe they are underrated, you know what I'm saying? But like they had hits, you feel me? They had singles as well too. Like, but honestly, like those singles were nice, but like some of my favorite songs off the album was Wandering Eyes. Like, I really thought that was a really, really good song. And they had another song off the album called I Gotta Get Mine. And no, I ain't talking about the whole Tupac and MC Breed. You gotta get mine. You gotta get yours. I know, I'm a little corny right now. But yeah, again, solid album. It just sucks. Again, just going back on what I'm reiterating, dog. They only had one album. Okay, because the group, I think, disbanded after that. So again, like when En Vogue kicked the door down, and then all these record labels started investing all this money again in female-led groups, you had so many groups, but yet you had so many groups that only dropped like one album, maybe two, and then that was it. Or swapping out group members again, so the longevity or the impact culturally wasn't fully there. You know what I'm saying? And that's what happened. Now, the last group that we're gonna talk about, okay, they released their album back in 1994, and the group that I'm talking about is Drama. Now, your boy Gerald Levert, he was the one who founded this group, okay? So he helped produce this whole freaking album, all right? Now, they did have a lead single off this album, okay? And this album, not this album, my bad. And the single was called See Me.
Everything is love you want. Everything is love you need. If you feel like a man and you think you can handle it, see me. Everything is love you want. Everything is love you need.
Now, that song, it did pretty decent. I mean, it peaked at like number 76 on the billboards. So, they had something on the charts as well too. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention the record label that they was on or whatever. I think it was called Prospect Records, and your boy Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis or whatever, they ran the record label. So again, they helped produce the album as well too. But like I said, like that See Me single or whatever, that was a really, really good song. They had another single called Not Today. Now, that song too, I actually like as well too. Honestly, this was a pretty solid album, bruh. Like, again, it gets lost in the fold when it comes to 90s female-led R&B groups, but this was a solid album. Another good song off this album was called what's the name of that song? It called Does It Get Any Better Part 1. There we go. Doesn't Get Any Better Part 1. And you know what's funny about that song? Like, you guys let me know, bro. Like, don't you guys miss where you hear like a person, like a guy, like he's doing the back vocals and the ad-libs of the song, and he sound like he's on the phone, and he's like, mic check 1 2. Yeah, this is the second verse. Come on, ladies. Come on now. Let's go where we're going like this now. Yeah. I ain't gonna lie, I just had to do it. But like that song in particular, the guy, he's all over it, you know what I'm saying? But that was a lot of that was going on in the 90s for real. They had another song on there called No Games, and then they had another song on there called No Shame. But yeah, overall, I know I'm silly, man, but like overall, you know what I'm saying, the album was solid, you feel me? But again, it all started with En Vogue, man. In the early 90s, En Vogue made it possible for all of these R&B groups to come out and at least leave some type of stamp, you know what I'm saying, on the genre, man, you feel me? And again, a lot of these R&B groups that I'm gonna be touching on in future videos, man, they only probably had one album, or they didn't have major success like you know, the big four, because again, it was the big four. It was very competitive, man. Like, you had to be different, you had to be good at something, okay, for you to really, really stand out. And again, some of these groups, they came, they went, they fizzled out. But again, thank you guys for always watching. Thank you guys for checking out my videos. Thank you guys so much for showing me some love. Leave a like, subscribe, man. You know, that helps out the channel. Leave a comment, man. I'm gonna respond to every single comment, okay? So if you guys have any recommendations, I already have a list of who I'm gonna cover in my next video, but still, leave me recommendations. Let me know when was your first time, you know, hearing these songs and all that stuff, and what was your favorite group growing up on top of that. But as always, thank you guys for watching, man. I'm out.